Hi, it's me, Kathy, and I'm back with a new project. I'm going to make a snippet roll and with this fabric, and I'm going to see how long I can go on the snippet roll. Join me. I want to tell you about this fabric. It has been weathered for many seasons because it was the binding strip I made for my outdoor curtains that I made with duck cloth or drop cloth. Now, when I took them down just recently to wash them and repair them, I've discovered that the binding, which is just 100% cotton, was kind of frayed and torn in some places, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to take it off and put on a new binding on the curtains and put them back up. You can see here that the sun has faded one side of the strips very much on some of them, and the inside that was protected in the fold is still a little bit not as vibrant as it used to be, because when I wash them in hot water, the curtains, and I put bleach in the water, and so that kind of helped to age these strips. These are a bundle of jelly roll that I got at Joann's years ago, and I finally decided I'm going to put them on my curtains to make them pretty, and they were very pretty and festive for quite a while. But now I have a new project. Well, as you can see here, this is the end of one of the strips, and this is the one I'll be working on today. But as you can see, it's very, it's great. It looks so great. It's so grungy. And this lace I bought at a thrift store for $7. This is again like 6 or 7 years ago, and it was almost full. And that's all the lace I've been able to get through so far. I think I will have that to pass down to my daughter, who will probably not want it. When I'm gone, maybe I'll just have it donated to another crafter. But I just, I couldn't believe it when I saw it at the thrift store. I was like, this is $7. This is a lot of lace for $7. I have to get this. It's too much lace. No, just get it. What are you going to do with it? I don't know, but I need it. And I use it in my projects, and I've put it on skirts, and I've put it on curtains, and I've, just whatever comes up. And now I'm putting on this strip of fabric. I'm getting out some other scraps left over to put down on the fabric strip to turn it into a snippet roll. A snippet roll, if you don't know, is a long piece of fabric like this. It can be any kind of fabric. It doesn't have to be dilapidated. I mean, for vintage, you can have it vintage, you can have it new and bright, you can have it solid color, just whatever you want to do. And you just put little pieces of fabric, and I'm going to do fabric and paper, and you could do just all fabric, you can just do all paper, you can just do, combinations of things and charms and buttons, and it just, whatever your imagination, inspires you to do, you can fill out the fabric. And then when you do your projects, you would just cut off a little piece of the snippet and put it in your project, and that becomes a cluster, a snippet cluster. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. This little coffee piece is I don't know what we would call that, an applique, I guess, that I created from a yard of fabric that had little coffee cups all over it, and I cut out the coffee cups with my pinking shears, and then I took it to the sewing machine, and with red thread, You can see there I outlined it. On a snippet roll, if you want everything to go horizontally, you can do that. If you want to mix it up and have some things go horizontally and some things go vertically, it's up to you, whatever you want to do, because it just, there's no limit, there's no rules, there's no, oh, it's got to be this way or that way. If there were rules, I wouldn't do it. just let me say that. Now I'm putting these little pieces of fabric down first, trying to decide, do I want it under the lace, do I want it over the lace? Just testing out things. I decided to put the coffee cup horizontally, but other elements like this deer is sideways, and it's just fun. You just sit and you create, you allow yourself to play. You allow yourself to have fun and try not to think too much. Don't think too hard about what you're trying to, create here. I'm just building up the layers. This is a piece of a duvet that I bought at a thrift store and then used it in other projects. Washed it and then I dyed it with Rit dye, camel, just a few, like a quarter cup. In my top loading washing machine, I set it to the hottest temperature and the highest level of water, and then I put in the dye, Rit dye, and a cup of salt and a little bit of dishwashing liquid, and I love it. I love dyeing fabric. This duvet that I got, I wasn't sure if the top of the duvet was cotton or a blend of cotton poly. So I used the dye for cotton, and it dyed it a little bit, but not as much as it did the back of the fabric. And I'll show you a little bit of that later on in the video. I don't know, I've dyed so many colors and it's just awesome to do it in the washing machine. It's so easy now. I don't know if you've ever tried to dye fabric, but let's see, I'm just tacking. This is just basically like basting, and instead of pinning it, I'm just gonna glue it with a little bit of glue. It'll dry, or I wait till it dries, and then I will eventually, once I get this strip it roll assembled, I'll put it through the sewing machine. This is a little box of felt flowers, roses, that it came as a craft kit, I guess, where you took the little felt and you assembled the roses. I used a little bit of fabric glue, and I had fun doing it. It was also a gift from my son. He knew I wanted them, and he got them for my birthday one year. This is some of my slides for specimen slides, the frames. I made out of journaling cards that were, I believe it was like a back to school or high school or something, and I couldn't use them, but once I cut them down and then cut the window out, I had a use for them. Made them into specimen frames, and then on the underside of that is my Tim Holtz specimen, teeny tiny pieces. And I'm just putting those on now, just kind of figuring out where I like it, where I think it might look all right. That's just, it's just part of the process of creating the layers for your snippet roll. Here's some more. These are stickers and little cardboard die cut type of things from Amazon. Some of them are stickers, some of them are not stickers. I'm going to put that over there because it mimics that sunbeam ray Sunray. This one turned out to be a sticker, and instead of just putting the sticker down, I put it on a piece of paper. Sticker down. I put it on a piece of paper so it won't stick to the needle as I go through. I am going to sew all this down. There's a card, and I'm going to put that right there, and I'll fix that up when I get to it on the sewing machine, because that glue isn't going to hold that little ruffly piece that I'm trying to create. Here's one that's a round sticker, and it's stuck, and eventually I believe I found out there was even another identical sticker behind, I don't know which one of them, but this one I'm going to do sideways or vertically. No, horizontally. Oh, I get confused. These are little butterflies that I punched out a long time ago and just keep them in my stash. And I think, oh, and there's a little felt flower that I need to I'm going to hand sew that on after everything, and I forgot to do that before the video was over. Here I'm trying to ink the edges just to give it some definition and get rid of some of that white, and I think that didn't do enough for me there, so now I'm trying to get in there with my dauber just to kind of make it less stark. There we go. See, two, and then, oh, this is a sticker, you know. I just didn't know. And this pack of stuff I got from Amazon, I didn't know if it was a sticker or not. And so I'm going to use this little piece of leftover from a book about plants and flowers. And instead of cutting it right on the edge or evenly, I'm going to offset the cut a little bit. Just, you know, kind of frame it in a different way. And I'll ink the edges with the jet black. Seems to be my go-to at the moment. And put that on. Put the flower in the front. Just kind of tack it all down there. And you can see I'm building up the layers. It's getting there. Now I decided to turn the butterfly to the lighter side instead of using the darker side at the last minute. I do that a lot. I'll think, oh, it's going to go this way, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to do it the other way. And what's that? What did I pick up? I can't tell. Oh, it's one of those little Tim Holtz field note pieces. I like using the glue stick to tack things down when I can. It's just a little tricky to make sure they don't fall off before they get through the needle. Oh man, there's another Tim Holtz field note thing. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my first section of the snippet roll, and I've got a little Eiffel Tower there at the end you can't see, and then a little butterfly that's going to go at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Let's see. This one I just used what was on the dauber to distress it a little bit around the blue. And then a little butterfly that's going to go at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Let's see. This one I just used what was on the dauber to distress it a little bit around the blue. And then a little butterfly that's going to go at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Let's see. This one I just used what was on the dauber to distress it a little bit And that's a punch I have that punches out little tiny Eiffel Towers. And yeah, so now let me show you my duvet cover. Okay, that's the top. But the back is all cotton in there. You got a little peek of that. It's all cotton, so when I dyed the duvet with the camel, which is what the Rit Dye formula says to use to make it look tea-dyed, it took it really well. It turned it into a beautiful tea-dyed muslin. And so I've been using the back now to make the backing to this, because this fabric is so fragile at this point after being out in the sun and the wind and the rain for years. It really needs reinforcement, even more so than normal fresh fabric. So I carefully lift it onto that strip. It's 2 inches in width. Let me take it to the sewing machine and you can see a little bit. Well, so you can see it now. I've sewn it down first through the middle, trying to catch as many of the little pieces as I could, and then I sewed it on either side. And look at that. I love how it turned out. It's so awesome. Thanks for watching. See you soon.